The man and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. How is that even possible? And here's what's weird, okay, is this little one-phrase passage shows up after 24 full verses of creation of all weird things. So we have just come through everything talking about what God put into creation, 24 chapters, and on and on and on and on. He put this, he put this, he put this, he put that. And we come screaming to a halt at the one thing God did not put there. And as we come screeching to a halt here, we're teetering right on the ledge in front of the fall. Almost as if it's a warning, a clue about how the worst decision in the history of the world is about to happen. The last word we hear right before the worst decision in history is shame. Genesis 3, here we go, over the cliff. The serpent was more crafty than any other animal the Lord had made. He said to the woman, "Did God say you shouldn't eat from the tree of the garden?" And the woman said to the serpent, "We can eat from any of the fruit of the trees in the garden. But God said, you shouldn't eat of the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die." The serpent said to the woman, "You won't die, for God knows when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God." God knows that when you eat of it, you will have your not enoughness cured. I was going through this passage out on the East Coast. I was doing a sales training out there for my job, and I was at dinner with a couple of salespeople, and I was going through this passage just kind of like I'm going through it with you right now. And we got to this part of the passage right here. And I said, what do you think the snake was actually saying to Eve right here? You will be like God. And this young woman, female salesperson, without skipping a beat, without blushing, without anything, without hesitation, she says, "You're not enough." That's what the snake was saying to Eve. You're not enough. As if she'd heard the voice in her own head over and over and over again her whole life. This woman saw the first time in recorded history when a woman looks in the mirror and has that thought register in her head, "I am not enough," and realizes, I got to be about fixing this. I got to make this right. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was a delight to the eyes, that the tree was desired to make one wise, when she saw that it was desired to make one wise, when she saw that it was capable of fixing her shortcomings, when she saw that it was capable of overcoming her not enoughness, and you could see the first bad decision in shame is about to hit. She took its fruit and she ate. She also gave some to her husband, which I find a little judgmental, which happens with shame. There's really nothing shame enjoys more than finding somebody who's worse off than we are, dumber, uglier, whatever. Okay? And she looks over at her husband and says, "You're not quite enough either." Somehow it gives us some solace to know other people are not enough too. And he ate it. And here comes the outcome. Then their eyes were opened, they knew they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made loincloths for themselves. The outcome is here. It's self-hatred. It's suddenly a need to hide who we are because we just don't like it. We don't want anybody else to see it. These fig leaves, Jeff called his pride, for example. These things we hide behind. Defensiveness, rage, racism, narcissism. Always got to be rightism. All this stuff we hide behind. And you can see the destruction in the right next verse. They heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden. They hid themselves from the presence of the Lord among the trees. But the Lord called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" And he said this, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I hid myself. I hid myself." Why did you hide yourself? Why did you hide yourself? Why did you hide yourself? Because I was afraid, he says. Afraid of what? Afraid of the fact that you just ate an apple when I told you not to? Afraid of you touched the tree I told you not to touch? Nope, that's not it. Are you afraid because you listened to your wife? Nope, that's not it. Are you afraid because now you're in big trouble? Nope, that's not it. Well, why are you afraid? Because I'm naked. And what he's really saying is, when you see the real me, you're going to abandon me. That's my real fear. And it's going to be better if I leave you first.